Well, we're seeing some fog and low-lying clouds moving in on our Stratford Skycam. That's along the cold front already making its way into the area. We have quarter-size hail with this. We do not have a confirmed tornado at this time. However, as we've mentioned, this rotation is certainly starting to tighten up. In fact, by lunchtime, our temperature is already above our average high for this time of the year, which, as you know, that means it's going to be a hot day for us. 93 degrees is where we'll round out by tomorrow afternoon. The winds out here are relentless, like nothing I have ever felt before. The scene behind me, just one of many like it around the region today. Strong winds bringing down those power lines. At last check, Xcel Energy says 22,000 customers around the Panhandle region are without power. We do have this area of high pressure that's sitting off into the south central portion of the United States. That clockwise flow is helping to bring some of that moisture in from the Gulf, and then we have this area of low pressure sitting off to our west. Well, that's helping to bring in moisture back from our south and west. We've already had an inch of rainfall today. Officially, for the month of October, we usually get about 1.6 inches of rain. You could get some heavy rain for some areas. Generally, just take a notice to see where those heavier amounts fall. And we're looking towards eastern New Mexico, back towards Curry and Roosevelt County. We're actually protected by the wind from here, but it's scattered pieces all the way across. And even back here, we have part of the roof actually going over the fence into a residential area, hitting a home. It looks like the rotation has definitely weakened, and we see that on our radar as well. It definitely doesn't look anything like it did when we first had that warning issued just a short time ago. Continuing to track that moisture plume making its way back in from the southwest. This is the tail end of what we're seeing with that moisture, so we should start to begin to dry things out just in time for your weekend. Lots of sunshine out there, not a cloud to be found in the sky, and winds are blowing out there too. You'll notice those trees shaking around quite a bit. Clear skies around the area this afternoon. Lots of sunshine out there. Despite that, those temperatures still remaining cool back behind that cold front. In fact, temperatures running about 10 to 20 degrees cooler than where we should be for this time of the year. We are taking a closer look at our first freeze of the season possible tonight. And then we will start to warm things up just in time for the weekend. Another cold front, though, it's on its way by the middle of next week. Generally, temperatures north of I-40 are in the 40s this afternoon, 50s as you head south of I-40 right here in Amarillo. Again, lots of sunshine. It's still only 50 degrees, though. Taking a look at how much cooler it is than what it was yesterday. Well, about 30 degrees cooler for Amarillo, 40 degrees cooler than yesterday afternoon for our friends up in Guymon, Oklahoma. A national view of what we have going on that trough, digging to the south, impacting a good chunk of the Rockies. We are on that southern end of it, and here's our first front that moved through earlier today. We're seeing that approaching the Dallas-Fort Worth area. 90 degrees right now, though. That temperature will fall here shortly back in Amarillo. Again, we're kind of in the middle, 53 degrees. Our second area of cold air sitting off to our north with several inches of snow across portions of central Colorado from Denver down to the south. We are seeing some of that snow stretching very close to the state line into northern New Mexico. Your HD computer model forecast for tonight does bring some of that moisture into northeastern New Mexico and across portions of the Oklahoma and Texas Panhandle. We're stopping the clock at 10:30. You'll notice maybe a few light showers around the northern Texas Panhandle areas up towards Dalhart, Dumas, and then up into the Oklahoma Panhandle. Could get in on some light showers tonight. Otherwise, temperatures tonight plummeting into the 20s, 26 degrees your overnight low. You'll notice we have that northerly wind coming in at 15 to 25 miles per hour. We could be dealing with some very cold wind chill values in the teens by tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow afternoon, 44 degrees by lunchtime. We have that area of high pressure moving into the area. Sinking air will keep that sunny sky around for the day tomorrow. Still, temperatures only in the 50s. And as we go into the first part of the weekend, we're looking at temperatures starting to rebound just a little bit by Saturday, 65 degrees and still cooler than average. As far as, again, that chance of snow tonight, very, very light snowfall possible across the far northern Texas Panhandle into the Oklahoma Panhandle. Definitely not going to be a big snow event. In fact, we're not expecting any accumulating snow. You might run into just a few snow flurries out there. Otherwise, the rest of us dealing with that hard freeze tonight. The first one of the season, we have that hard freeze warning that does cover a good chunk of the area across the northwest, and then the freeze warning for many areas in the southern and eastern portions of the Panhandle. It's been a while since we've had any of those freezing temperatures. In fact, April 14th, that was the last time we saw those temperatures below freezing. And a good reminder to protect the 4 Ps, the pipes, people, and plants. If you are heading outside, make sure you are layered up, especially by tomorrow morning. Overnight lows headed for the 20s. Wind chill values, though, tomorrow morning again in the single digits and teens for some areas here in Amarillo. 26 degrees tonight. Winds remaining fairly strong in that 20 to 30 mile per hour range. And then tomorrow, lots of sunshine, but it's still going to keep those temperatures in the 50s. 54 in Clarendon, 57 for our friends in Childress. Now, taking a look at your forecast for the next 7 days, we are seeing that rebound in time for the weekend. 70s by the end of the weekend, and then we'll start the next week out with a high of 80 on Monday before our next cold front moves into the area. That will send those temperatures back into the 60s.
Well, it was just, a very special time in our country where everybody wanted to serve the best way that they could.
At the time, we had no idea that we were being pioneers or setting the stage for women to fly in combat.
With World War II came a call to serve. When a group of women stepped up to the call of service, there was some doubts they would be able to handle the job.
They were kind of a secret operation. Training female pilots was not really possible to train female pilots.
We were the Women Air Force Service Pilots.
After graduating from West Texas State in Canyon, Nell Bright was among a group of female pilots who stepped up to serve during World War II.
I had the qualifications. I already had my private pilot's license and 75 hours of flying that I'd gotten at English Field there in Amarillo.
Bright was among 1,800 women accepted into the WASP program. Of the 1,800, just over 1,000 graduated.
We just considered it a great opportunity to get to fly the bigger planes, the military planes, and to get the experience, and our country needed us at that time.
Despite their proven ability to fly military aircrafts, the WASP members were still under restrictions.
The WASP did not participate in combat. Women pilots today can do that. The WASP could not fly outside the continental United States.
And because the WASP were a part of a civilian program, they had other difficulties compared to their male counterpart.
Unlike the men, they deducted $1.65 a day for room and board. They had to pay for all of their uniform, any kind of uniform that they were issued.
And unlike other pilots returning from war, WASP members were not immediately recognized as veterans.
We were voted down by 3 members of Congress, and so we were just deactivated then, and were sent home. Our records were sealed for 30 years. We were doing all this flying, and all of a sudden they said, we don't need you anymore.
It wasn't until nearly 30 years later when WASP members were officially granted status as a veteran. Aside from the WASP members who were flying, there was also flying instructors and mechanics needed.
My mom was an airplane mechanic out here at Avenger Field and grew up telling my brother and I stories. She says she didn't have much interaction with the WASP. Their planes she interacted with.
There were also men out at Avenger Field who served to train the female pilots.
Whenever he became an instructor out here, a lot of men especially teased him a lot and gave him a lot of flack.
Susan Spears' dad was one of several instructors at Avenger Airfield. Spears is also the chairperson of the board of the WASP Museum.
It was very important to us to have the museum here at Avenger Field because you could see the vistas and everything just like they saw them.
And for those with connections to the WASP, they say there are still lessons that we can learn from them today.
Just follow your heart. I mean, if that's what your passion is, just do it, because you can achieve it. You can achieve it.
From the National WASP Museum in Sweetwater, Texas, Ryan Coulter, ABC 7 News.